Good morning. How's everybody doing? Thank you guys for joining in. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So yesterday, not a bad day for Roku, eh? Traded pretty well, huh? Solid move up on the day. So anyways, today, we're still going to be following Roku, but... being weird. We're still going to follow Roku, but don't anticipate it to be anywhere near as bullish as it was yesterday. Yesterday was a multi-day break, short squeeze play over multi-day highs, and that broke out a 52-week high. So that whole move is not going to happen today. If anything, you'd probably see like a quarter of the move you did yesterday today. So we'll follow Roku again. We'll look for continuation plays over previous day's highs. But again, not going to be anywhere near as explosive as yesterday. What we're seeing on the chart right now is the stock FRAN. I don't even know if it has news. I think there was really just some news about some management company, some type of investment company having a 20.3% stake in the company, blah, blah, blah. Things starting to push up. So this is a penny stock that we'll keep on watch today throughout the day. So far this morning, the way it's moving pre-market, I'm really not a fan of it. I don't like when stocks just kind of spike up, crash down, trend back up, crash back down, trend back. I don't really like that move. I like big channeling formation. So for me right now, this has no formation that I'm really truly interested in trading, but I'm hoping that as the day progresses, it forms into something that I'd like to trade. So anyways, that's where we're really at in life, eating Lunchables and trading stocks. So FRAN is going to be on watch. I mean, the chart really doesn't, it's just been trending down. Even with it trending down, the 4-hour chart does not have any bullish divergence that would cause this push they were seeing this morning. It's possible there's a divergence on the daily chart, but there's not. There's no divergence on the daily chart, so that's not going to be the cause of the move this morning. So, more likely than not, what we're seeing today is just a move that has been started from small little news pieces of a management company holding a 20.3% stake in the company. So it doesn't really, there's no positive news on the stock. There is nothing that supports this move other than the hype and momentum that traders feel they should be buying this because some other company owns a big stake in the company. So it's like, if your friend jumps off a bridge, should you jump off a bridge? Absolutely. If there's a parachute and it's going to be fun. If you're going to die, don't do it. So this is nothing more than a bunch of people hopping onto a hype train of a penny stock this morning trying to make a buck. So we'll see how it plays out. Now, we'll come back. Let me touch on this quick second here. Now, if you look at like a yearly chart, so again, looking back at a yearly chart, looking back at a 4-hour chart, you can use this to try and find some type of resistance location. What I hate about stocks like this when they look like this is, in reality, you have all these potential little pops that it could stop at, right? Like it could go up to 647 and stop there. It could come up to 1050 and stop there. It could come up to this little push and stop there. So when they kind of downtrend like this and have these little random spikes, it makes it a little bit more challenging to get an idea for where you might want to kind of anticipate your target sell zone could be if you're along it, all day or whatever the case may be. But nonetheless, that's just it. I would say that I wouldn't anticipate the stock going all the way to 10. If it goes to 10, fantastic. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'd really anticipate maybe a move towards 6, maybe 7. Let's check where the 100-day moving average is at. Yeah, that thing's not going up that far, so probably not. So my first target area would probably be right around 650 to 7, that location, right? Yeah, they did do a recent reverse split, but that has nothing to do with the way it's moving today. No problem, Martin. Yeah, there's a lot of great information in the course. You're absolutely right. So moving over to Roku. So, anyways, you see Roku had the explosive day yesterday. It's actually starting to kind of roll down right now. If it doesn't have a continuation play the upside, I really don't care. But if it does, fantastic. Now, yeah, I had a great move yesterday. Ideally, well, yeah, I mean, it's not the best continuation play setup, but either way, ideally what we're probably going to look for is it to hold support around 11.18 and then look for kind of a red to green push. Right now I'd be looking for, since we're channeling and kind of rolling down pre-market, I'd be more inclined to look for a move that's similar to a red to green push. Basically like a down start, then it kind of consolidates, maybe holds a bit, and then we start pushing back up towards like the previous high of yesterday, which is about 113.50 area, and then look for a move over that. And then give it a couple days, and I'd probably be interested in getting short Roku, because I don't think Roku's going to hold we'll see, but I don't think Roku's going to hold prices of 113, 115, 120 all the way through its earnings release. I actually think Roku's going to have a bad earnings report. And not that it's going to have a bad earnings report, I just think that the price of the stock in this current moment in time is overvalued in regards to what Roku's actually worth. So the price of the stock will be far higher price than what the company is actually worth come time their earnings report. So even if they do report a good earnings, the earnings and the revenue and the guidance aren't going to justify the price it had been trading at. So I think we actually might see Roku fade into earnings, and then earnings is actually going to turn out poor. So I was considering actually doing a small swing short, one of these days and hold through earnings, but we'll see. Maybe, maybe not. So we'll follow Roku for continuation over today's highs. Watch for it to hold support around yesterday's previous consolidational tops, which will be around 111.80, 111, 112, right in that area. Wizard Con, I have no idea. I don't look at oil. I don't track natural gas. I don't do any of that, so I would have no idea. I could figure it out, but I just don't. All right, so moving forward, somebody asked about Amazon going to, I think, 2,100. Wait, what? So you wanted to go down? Is that what you're asking? All right. 2,100. Oh, so you actually want to go. No, you're looking for it to go up. I mean, yeah, it's possible it gets to 2,100, of course, but I mean, I wouldn't bank on it. I mean, if I were you, I wouldn't be long right now. Like I wouldn't just now be starting a position long on Amazon. It's the wrong time. You're buying the high in this move. So no, I wouldn't. So the answer to the question is no, I would not be starting a position long on Amazon here. If I'd been long Amazon, let's say down in this dip, that's where I'd be closing my Amazon long in this current moment in time. If I was long Amazon in this dip, I'd be closing Amazon long at this current moment in time. So, yeah, it could make it to 2,100, but you've entered into a seller's location, which is now going to hinder its ability to move as fluently up into higher prices. Yeah. Well, actually, really, Tesla's been on a tear ever since it hit the 180 support that the whole world knew about. But the car delivery added a new fire to that move. So, yeah, I mean, that's another thing, too. You could watch Tesla. This is something I'll probably keep an eye on a little bit today. It had a nice solid push up in after hours pre-market trading. So, might watch this a little bit today. Yeah, I mean, Tesla's moving fairly well. Might trade that. but ideally probably going to focus on Roku. And that's the thing, guys. Whenever I'm looking at stocks, I mean, I generally will trade, a couple things throughout the day if it looks good. It's not just what's on the watch list at the time, because things change so rapidly throughout the day that I could be trading basically anything I want. So yeah, Tesla is pretty decent. It had a nice move up. The problem with Tesla for me is generally I am a formation trader. I don't trade trend. I like to trade where things are going to spike big or drop big. So I usually don't ever find myself trading trend unless it's a swing trade. I don't day trade trend. So when I look at this, I'm like, yeah, it looks good because it's just going up, but really there's no significant formation that would really cause me to want to buy a move here. And probably something I could get better at and work on myself, but it's just something I don't do. Like this, like your buy point was, off a double bottom, or you could even suggest that your buy would be the other day on this day of Tesla. You can even suggest that your buy would be at this trend line snap, however you're going to trade that. But just knowing myself, the likelihood that I would have held all the way through that day to the top, it would have never happened. I wouldn't have done that. Just not likely. If anything, I probably would have started selling towards the previous pre-market high level, which still would have been a good trade. Actually, no, I probably would have bought here, sold some on this push, and then maybe held some, but no way I would have caught that whole thing. Unless it was a swing trade. Not really. Well, wait, NVIDIA swing long. Yeah, not really crazy about. Yeah, we looked at FRAN. FRAN's moving. Mr. Society, Verge Society. ILMN. Following ILMN for a swing trade currently. Not in long on it. Don't know if it's up this morning. Haven't checked. Yeah, still following ILMN, but not currently long or short the stock. CAPR could be back on the move. Oh yeah, so CAPR is going through a short squeeze day. Really unfortunate that that's happening, because that's just gonna move's already done. Most likely, if anything, you might be able to see it up to 750. Won't trade that anymore. Move's already started. Not good to trade it at that point. But that what you're seeing is a bounce short squeeze move. Typically happens after a big runner like that squeezes all the way up, comes crashing down, holds consolidation. Second, usually the third or fourth day, it's going to squeeze up just like that. But this usually won't lead towards a big run. It's going to be a quick pop drop done for the day, and then it's going to fade out all the way back down to about 350. What do I think about Bitcoin right now? Went through a big bounce. It's just hard because you really just don't know. You don't know about Bitcoin. Generally, I would say most oftentimes bubbles don't bounce like Bitcoin bounced. So it leads me to believe that but again, even so, no, I'm gonna stick to my gut. Bitcoin is not worth. I really truly don't feel like Bitcoin's not worth investing in. Long term, it's not. Doesn't make sense. Let's see. Kern? What? Oh, you're talking about that weed thing and the rumor thing? No, I have no idea. You cannot do freehand drawing on Thinkorswim. Somebody asked about NVIDIA swing long, and I think that, let's double check it. I was watching it the other day, but yeah, I kind of see the move you're referring to. I mean, me personally, no, not really. I really wouldn't be swing long here. I would have been swing long off that dip, but not here. If you were swing long here, then you can be holding here, but I wouldn't be taking a new swing trade on that spot. Doesn't make sense to me. You're right in the middle of the move. You could get a small push up back towards these highs, and then, or else you're right in the middle of consolidation. So it's either break up or break down. And then even if you do break up, you're breaking up right into your previous top resistance, which might then cause a small little, couple week double top, and then you're back down. It doesn't meet the criteria I would buy on, right? It's not really a dip. So no, I personally would not be swing long that. AMD, someone asked about AMD. Yeah, AMD is still running into the 34 price, or sorry, this topping area, 52-week high. You know, I really don't like AMD anymore, the way it's pushing, because in reality, it's just a big double top. Many believe it's going to break out, which it can. When stocks just grind into a top, they're more likely to actually break through the top. Whereas if AMD kind of spiked up like this, if AMD came down and then spiked right back up to this price, it would fall much harder. But the fact that it's kind of spiked, grinded all the way up, the likelihood that it breaks through is actually higher. But I still don't like it at this high. I would rather see it maybe pull back a little bit more and show some type of mini formation before pushing over. That'd make me more inclined to buy it. But as of right now, I'm just neutral on AMD. How deep do you have to research the news and stocks? You really don't even have to research it, honestly. When you first start trading, you think you have to know every little piece of the information, but eventually you just kind of start picking up on things and really realizing what's good news to follow, what's bad news to follow. And then people always ask me, well, hey, Connor, how do you find good news for a stock? This is a very important lesson for you guys today. It will never be about finding good news for a stock. Go to Google right now and type in stocks with good news. How many stocks do you think, or how many results do you think you're going to get under stocks with good news today? I mean, everybody wants to think that their child's an absolute angel, when in reality, they're probably not. They're probably stealing money from you to go get booze on the weekend, right? Your children are not all angels, though we'd all like to think they are. Whereas, same thing. Everybody would like to think that their stock is great or the news on a stock is great, but in reality, it's not, okay? And you don't have to jump around and try and figure out which stock or which news is good. All you have to do is figure out which stock is performing relatively well on the day and see if they have good news. If they have good news, traders are most likely following that stock. So it's not about finding good news. It's about finding a stock that's performing well, and more likely than not, it has good news. Okay? Let's see. So, with that being said, always just look for stocks gapping up. Look for a stock that has look for a stock that's moving, and then check the news and then read the news. That's all you gotta do, and that's it. If the stock is moving and it has news, then it probably makes sense to watch it. Whereas if you look at a stock and it's not moving, but it has what appears to be really great news, then why isn't it moving? Right? If you looked at a stock and the headline says cures cancer and the stock's not moving, do you think you should trade the stock? Probably not. Because if a stock said it cured cancer and it's not moving, what WTF? What? Doesn't make sense. Of course it would be moving. If a stock said it was curing cancer, of course it would be moving, but there's been situations where I've looked at a stock and it seems to have good news, but it's not moving. No one's paying attention to it. Ends up being a dud on the day. Okay, so and there's been numerous times where I've had people reach out to me and go, Connor, what do you think about this stock? Something. It has this really great news of this new product they're going to be releasing and blah, blah, blah. And I go, yeah, and the stock's trading at 98 cents and there's no volume and nobody's watching it. Again, you never want to go to a party that nobody's at. It's really no fun. Okay? Believe me, been there, done that. Don't do it. What do I think about Netflix? Is it a good time to short? I mean, it could be. I'm not going to really just short. Netflix has earnings coming out tomorrow. I'm not going to short Netflix today. And before earnings, stocks usually don't trade very great. They always have a really awkward trading day. So no, I wouldn't probably short Netflix. I would just wait till after their earnings and see what happens. I truly think that this earnings on Netflix is going to be the determining factor of Netflix finally breaking out of its like 380 consolidational range. Oh yeah, David. Yeah, AMD peaked its head over the 34 price, and it's kind of back down. So like people are going, oh, it already kind of broke out. It's like not really. Breaking out's like breaking out. That's going swimming is putting your whole body in the water and flopping around like a fish. Being a little Sally is just dipping your toe in the water and then pulling out and then sitting on the launch chair. That's all AMD's done. All AMD did was go to the pool, dip its toe in the water, said it was too cold, and then sat down and started tanning. So no. We need full-on flailing like a fish breaking out, you know what I mean? So what time is it? We got 8:58. Let me think of something real quick before I let you guys go. Market. So the market's still really not doing anything super special. Volatility is extremely low. So if you're trading any sort of large cap stock, you're not seeing any really, really big moves right now. CSX has earnings right now. CSX Railroad had earnings. So you could probably watch this. This might be okay to trade on the day. Might see some decent moves. If it starts to get really choppy right in the beginning of the day, don't even worry about it. Stop trading it. Bank of America had earnings as well today. BAC. Bank of America has earnings. They're starting to go down. I'm already currently short the stock. Small shares, 100 shares right now. But Bank of America's had earnings, and this is starting to go down. This was actually a swing trade. I didn't trade this morning, but Bank of America had earnings. This might be interesting. The earnings report's kind of off. I don't really think it's a great earnings report, but you could follow BAC. There was another one that had earnings. Let me see if I could find it. Let's see. It was, here it is, SGEN. That's not it, SGEN. SGEN on earnings. This is one with really low volume, so you may not want to actually watch it, but occasionally these low volume earnings actually turn into really good traders. So that's why every once in a while I'll mention them or pay attention to them, but more often than not, they usually don't trade that well. But every occasionally it'll be it'll be really, really good. Okay. Other than that, what else? I can't think of anything at the current moment in time. Yes. Nope. That's it. That's all I got for you guys. TXT had earnings. Didn't even know that. Let's see. Generally, no, I won't trade that. All right. Anyways, guys, everybody take care. Have a good day. That's all I got for you. Hope you guys stay green. Have a great trading day. Don't blow your account. Don't trade if you don't feel comfortable. You don't have to trade. You don't have to go big size. You don't have to make $1 million a day. All you got to do is be consistent. I mean, wouldn't you love to be consistent and just make $200 a day, $150 a day, and then you can take that $200 to $150 a day, and then you can invest that long term into a long-term investing portfolio, and then you do that for the rest of your life, and then before you know it, you're going to end up retiring a multimillionaire. If you're in your 20s, or maybe if you're in your 30s, but if you're in your 50s, it's going to be much harder. As the saying goes, start investing now. And so that is what I try to preach beyond trading is investing long term. Then everybody complains, well, it's going to take me so long to become a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire right now. Well, fuck. Create the next Amazon. Create the next Apple. I don't give a shit. However you make it to become a millionaire. But I'm telling you exactly how you can become a millionaire. And if you want to take the advice, that's great. If you don't, fucking create the next Apple or the next Microsoft and stop complaining. Okay? Guys, have a great day. Love you all. See you guys tomorrow.